Do you want to buy a home in 2024 yet find yourself stuck trying to navigate the uncertainty of the market, the sea of information, and your limited experience in this journey? What if I shared that armed with the strategy and tools, your dream of home ownership is more attainable than ever, particularly compared to previous years like 2023? Welcome back to Dehan Develops, your go-to guide to a better relationship with money. Today, we're discussing the state of the current housing market and providing you with a step-by-step blueprint of the process of purchasing a home in 2024. So get your favorite drink or snack, a notebook, and something to write with, because we're about to dive deep. I'll be covering the latest market trends to essential focus points for potential home buyers, ensuring you get the best value for your investment in the 2024 housing market. By the end of this video, you'll feel empowered with the necessary knowledge and confidence you need to embark on your journey of homeownership. But before we jump into today's show, go ahead and give the like button some love, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Not only does this gesture assist in spreading the word to others like yourself, but it supports in achieving my goal of helping you grow with me to develop your financial journey. You ready? Let's go. But hold up. Previously on Dehan Develops. If you missed last week's show, I explained what is a mortgage, who needs one, and how do you qualify. Additionally, I provide strategies on how you can become an A1 candidate to a bank when qualifying for a loan. You can find the link to that video right here, and I'll drop a link down in the description. Now let's jump back into the action. Now, the desire and need to own a home is a long-standing debate. Now, this video is not about convincing you to buy a home. Matter of fact, stop the show. In a world where a mortgage broker helps people close loans, he makes a video not addressing the question of whether or not you should buy a home. What? Now guys, I'm assuming that by clicking on this video and watching this, you have at least some curiosity or an interest on some level in purchasing a home. And you're seeking to enhance your knowledge in this area in particular. Or perhaps you're aiming to enhance your expertise in the realm of home buying. Now here's what's important for you to know. It's crucial for you to grasp the current and anticipated trajectory of the housing market. So if you had all the intentions of buying a home in 2023, but you found yourself on the sidelines playing economic double dutch, just waiting for the right time to hop in, you weren't alone. Now, despite the social media feedback loop of massive success you may have consumed, statistically speaking, in 2023, we experienced one of the most challenging affordability crises on record. Interest rates soared to 23-year highs, accompanied by unprecedented home prices. Additionally, housing inventory reached historically low levels, resulting in a daunting environment for prospective buyers. Now, couple that with stagnant income that didn't parallel the rise of inflation, which impacted everything from our food, gas, and the overall cost of living. So the reality is that many people who were willing to pick up the controller and play the home buying game ended up hearing this as soon as they hit the start button. Yeah, it was rough. Now, fortunately, 2024 is poised to alleviate some of these affordability concerns, albeit not entirely. Now, while we shouldn't expect a miraculous shift, there are some positive changes on the horizon. Now, listen to me when I say this. For all of you that are waiting for a market crash to swoop up and buy properties for pennies on the dollar, don't hold your breath. I hate to break it to you, but from all the data that is in the industry right now, it's likely not going to happen. What we can anticipate is improvements in the mortgage rates and a modest increase in inventory. While we may not see interest rates plummet to previous lows we experienced in the pandemic era, or a significant surge in available properties, there will be incremental progress. Based on several news publications, economist interviews, and updates from the Fed, mortgage rates are expected to improve over the next year, and we can anticipate a slight uptick in the housing inventory. Additionally, home prices are projected to stabilize as wages continue to gradually rise. Now, assuming you're already committed to the idea of home ownership and are eager to explore how to make this a reality, let's start with the fundamental step crucial for all potential home buyers: creating a budget. Now, while this may seem like an elementary topic, it's actually the cornerstone of affordability when purchasing a home. Now, buying a home often represents the largest financial decision individuals make in their lives. Therefore, avoiding major financial missteps is paramount to ensuring you don't find yourself in a precarious financial position later on. Now, when you initially engage with a lender for a pre-approval, they won't delve into your budget details outside of your mortgage-related expenses. Instead, they'll focus on determining what you can afford based on the existing debts as reflected on your credit report. Now, this assessment is primarily based on a metric known as the debt-to-income ratio, which compares your monthly debts to your income. However, it's important to note that this evaluation only considers the total monthly credit report liabilities added to the new mortgage payment, inclusive of taxes, insurance, potential homeowners association fees, and other related costs directly to homeownership. Conspicuously absent from this calculation are your everyday living expenses, and we gotta stop the show here. This is where you have to really develop a plan, family, and evaluate to your overall affordability of homeownership, because these other expenses should be considered, such as transportation, groceries, utilities, childcare, entertainment, and travel, to name a few. As a prospective home buyer, it's crucial that you have a clear understanding of how much you're comfortable allocating towards your mortgage payment each month. Otherwise, when the lender asks, "What's your preferred monthly spending limit?" you might find it challenging to respond accurately without having meticulously crafted your budget beforehand. Therefore, establishing your budget upfront prior to engaging with the lender ensures you're well equipped to articulate your financial boundaries confidently. And listen to me when I say this. Crafting a basic budget is, without a doubt, the linchpin of this entire process. It might sound like common sense, yet surprisingly, many individuals lack even a rudimentary budgeting framework. We all know what we know, and we don't know what we don't know. Secondarily, I want to emphasize that if you are currently unemployed, lack a strong credit score, or are short on funds for a down payment, certain aspects we discussed today will pose significant challenges. In fact, if you find yourself in such a position, it's likely not the right time to pursue homeownership. Well, there are loan programs available like VA and USDA loans that waive the need for an upfront down payment. If you lack a positive credit history or steady employment, the focus on improving those areas should take precedence over home ownership aspirations, in my experience. Now, this is not to discourage you from your situation, but the reality is that without stable employment and a decent credit score, buying a home may not be feasible. This brings me to the next crucial aspect when you're preparing to enter the housing market: your credit score. Your credit score holds more sway over your loan eligibility than any other factor. It not only can play a major factor in determining the size of the home you can afford, but also influences your monthly mortgage payments, arguably the most critical consideration for many prospective buyers. While saving for a down payment is important, and we'll delve into that shortly, bolstering your credit score specifically will have a more substantial impact on your overall qualifications and the monthly payments. So if you gear up to become a homeowner, prioritizing efforts to improve your credit score is paramount. Now, start by paying down outstanding debts to reduce your credit utilization ratio, aiming to keep your balances below 30% of your total credit limit. For instance, if you have a credit card with a $2,000 balance and a $4,000 limit, you're currently utilizing 50% of your available credit. Ideally, you want to aim for a balance around $1,000 or lower to optimize the growth of your credit score effectively. Now, if you're someone grappling with significant debt, numerous collection accounts, and feeling overwhelmed, there's a method that aligns with Dave Ramsey's snowball strategy, which is one of the books I recommend you to read on the road to financial fluency. You can check it out right here, or I'll leave a link down in the description. Now, when it comes to a plan to eliminate debt, first, jot down all your monthly debts encompassing every credit obligation you're currently managing. Next, arrange them from the smallest balance to the largest. Now, there are several schools of thought to consider when creating a plan. There is the conventional approach of focusing on the largest to the smallest total balance. There is the finance approach of focusing on the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate charge to maximize your total savings. And Dave's approach, suggesting you start with the smallest and work your way up to the largest balance. The thought process goes like this. Paying off the smallest balance boosts your momentum and gives you a psychological encouragement to continue.
Woo! Wheelin' dealin'!
Now, as you eliminate each debt, redirect the funds you were allocating towards the next smallest balance, thus creating the snowball effect. This snowball effect accelerates debt clearance and reinforces your resolve. Now, for those of you with little to no credit history, consider becoming an authorized user on a credit card with a history of prompt payments, which can positively impact your credit score. That said, be careful with this strategy, as both on-time payments and late payments impact your credit score. So choose wisely. Emphasizing the significance of your credit score cannot be overstated. Suppose you're eyeing an FHA loan with a credit score of 580. In this case, it's prudent that you prioritize improving your credit score before pursuing homeownership further. The difference of interest rates between various credit score tiers significantly impacts the borrowing cost you have and your overall eligibility. It's important to note that as a mortgage professional myself, I can attest to there being a shift in interest rate tiers for every 20 points you gain starting at 580. So 3 people buying the same home with credit scores of 580, 620, and 700 can experience a significant difference in their overall rate, payment, and total cost of homeownership. Moving on, let's address the critical aspect of down payment. While it's possible to purchase a home with minimal down payment options or even 100% assistance programs, having some savings put aside for a down payment is advisable. Even if you qualify for programs that waive upfront payments, having reserves is wise. Financial stability is vital when embarking on the homeownership journey. If you're considering a VA loan or utilizing down payment assistance, having savings provides a safety net and potentially enhances your overall purchasing power. Ultimately, being financially prepared, including having savings set aside, contributes to having a more secure and informed home buying experience. Taking advantage of a down payment assistance or grants are a great way to obtain a home and mitigate your total out-of-pocket cost. That said, relying on these programs may not be in your best interest. Having savings set aside for your closing costs and reserves for unforeseen circumstances may delay the process. However, this approach provides you with a higher probability of securing your loan and preparing for the unforeseeable. Emergencies like job loss or unexpected repairs in the house may require additional funds. Having a financial cushion provides a peace of mind and ensures that you're prepared for any eventualities, whether or not you end up tapping into those reserves. Now, as mentioned earlier, while saving for a down payment is essential, remember that your credit score has a more significant impact on your monthly payment. If I were new to the home buying process, I'd prioritize 3 things: my budget, my credit score, and saving for the total closing costs and the down payment. Once these elements are in place, it's time to reach out to a lender for the pre-approval process. Now, this involves submitting a mortgage application and providing various documents for assessment. The pre-approval process is typically free, and it's advisable to start it early even if you're not planning to buy a home immediately. Now, starting early will allow you to identify many areas for improvement, such as improving your credit or addressing potential issues on your report proactively. Now, while some may worry about the impact of multiple pre-approval inquiries on your credit score, rest assured that you have about a 45-day window to compare offers without affecting your score significantly. Now, don't let the concerns about your credit inquiries deter you from getting approved. It's crucial in this process to understand your financial standing and readiness to buy a home. Remember, you can go through the pre-approval process again closer to your actual home purchase if needed, ensuring that the information is up to date. So if you're ready, it's imperative that you get started on this journey with a trusted lender by your side. Now, as a lender, here is what that process will require. A discovery. This is a combination of a detailed conversation and application. I've learned that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it's important to me to know the unique picture you bring to the table beyond your finances. Single, marriage, kids, first home, relocation, overall budget, expectations, etc., etc., etc. Then it's on to filling out a mortgage application and reviewing credit. You'll need to gather up some paperwork like your pay stubs and tax returns from the past couple of years. And if you're self-employed, you'll need to dig up all your tax returns depending on how you filed, Schedule C or business return with K-1s. But if you're a regular wage earner, you might not need to provide your full tax history. However, from my experience, it's best practice you have them just in case. Next up, they'll want to see your bank accounts, both checking and savings, typically for the most recent 2 months. Now, do you have any money tucked away in a 401k or IRA? They'll want to know about that too. Now, this whole process helps them figure out how much home you can afford based on your income and debts. Now, if you made it this far and you're wondering, Dehan, where do I go to start this journey? Well, you've got a few options. Your local bank or credit union, an online organization, or a mortgage broker. Admittedly, I'm biased as a broker. That said, I've experienced all three and there are pros and cons with each. Going straight to your bank is good because you have a relationship and it's hyper-localized. However, it isn't always the best bet as there are limitations in program options and usually have higher qualification standards and higher prices. Now, starting with a broker who has access to different banks and options might be a smarter move to shop many banks at the same time. Now, if you are in need of a lender, I've got a link in my description to my team who can help you understand your specific needs, and we'd be happy to help you directly, as we have partners nationwide with people we trust, we know, and can guide you through the process. Once you've got that pre-approval in hand, you're ready to start checking out homes and talking to real estate agents. But here's a common mistake to avoid: falling in love with a property before getting pre-approved. It's like putting the cart before the horse. By doing things the right way, you'll save yourself from heartache later on. Now remember, buying a home can be an emotional journey, so it's important that you stay on top of these things. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. I put together a first-time homebuyer course that covers everything you need to know from start to finish. It's like a shortcut to becoming a home buying expert. DM me course and I'll send it to you for free. So, to sum it all up, start with the budget. Work on your credit and save up for a down payment and get that pre-approval. Armed with this knowledge, you'll be ready for an exciting leap into home ownership in 2024. Thanks for checking out this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next week, peace.